Wintertime is Volvo time, and my favorite time to check out the latest in classy, comfy, and confident cars from Sweden. We've looked at this one before. It's the S60. This is the new one. Slight visual upgrades and a going over to parts of the cabin have resulted in a cleaner and more elegant look compared to previous models in this generation, like this S60 from a few years back. And here's another one, the S60 R design, filmed on a day where the weatherman said I probably should have stayed off the roads. Please. This sexy V60 is the wagon version of the S60, and its high-performance R design set up here too. Winter is a great time to check out a Volvo since they come from a country that knows a thing or two about getting around in the snow. This new S60 does too, and more efficiently now, thanks to an all-new engine that should answer the call of shoppers who want better mileage and no performance compromise. And here it is. All those other Volvos we just showed you had a turbocharged straight 6 with 300 horsepower or more. This new engine is turbocharged too. It's also supercharged. That's right, it's got both of the gearhead's favorite power adders bolted to it. Not a straight 6 though, it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder instead. It still makes big power, however, 302 horses to be exact. Taking a little engine and feeding it lots of compressed air or boost is the go-to way to increase efficiency without sacrificing power, and Volvo's betting the barn on this new power plant here in T6 grade with its highest currently available output.
So a supercharged turbocharged engine, how's that work? Well, just remember that a supercharger and a turbocharger are both just air compressors, and they both do the same thing. Now they work a little differently. A turbocharger is an air compressor that's driven by your engine's exhaust gases, which means they need a bit of exhaust flow to work, and they tend to work better at a little higher RPM. A supercharger is an air compressor driven by a belt attached to your engine, kind of the way an alternator works, and because they're always spinning, they spin up boost even right from very low RPMs, and that's where they work the best. When you put them together, the pros from one kind of outweigh the cons of the other. Now, in the case of this engine, you've got the supercharger boosting power at low revs right off the line, and when that starts running out of breath, the turbocharger is right there to pick it up. End result, there's no sudden spike in power output, no lag, no waiting, just heaps of refined forward thrust, and lots of it every time you put your foot down.
It goes like the wind, and though I miss the howl of the old straight 6 turbo, I don't miss the fuel bill. This new big boost 4-banger, complete with a new 8-speed automatic and idle slashing auto stop technology, turned in some impressive mileage. This S60 managed 10 liters per 100 clicks overall. That's about the same as a Volkswagen GTI and 2 liters per 100 better than the 12 liters per 100 I averaged on the S60 variants with the old engine. Mind you, this one doesn't have all-wheel drive, which saves a bit of fuel, but the point is, the technology works. Same performance and less fuel burned. All of that in an engine that's remarkably smooth, very potent, and pretty quiet, but you can hear little whistles and hisses and whines from the dual compressors working away if you listen closely. It's remarkable when you drive gently too. Breathe on the throttle and it oozes forward with no downshift and no noise. If you're not a sporty driver, all that low-end thrust means the S60 can operate at minimal revs with minimal strain and use even less gas. So here's an engine that's as happy at full throttle as it is being driven very, very gently. And in any case, it's refined and laid back. And even in this front drive unit, I had minimal issues with traction, fast-acting traction control, expertly tuned stability control, and powerful anti-lock brakes all work to prevent the S60 from getting up close and personal with a piece of highway infrastructure when the going gets greasy, and they make the best use of available traction, which was enhanced by the winter tires. Elsewhere, key S60 traits remain unchanged. There's a solid quality feel built into this machine right down to the door hinges and switches and buttons. When it's cold and miserable and windy outside, like today, the front and rear heated seats take away the chill. They're also the most comfortable seats you'll sit in the course of your day. The heated steering wheel is a nice touch as well, and so is the punchy premium audio system, and so is the waterfall console, which has an opening behind it for more storage for your things. The fully customizable instrument cluster sitting just behind the paddle shifters is pretty slick too, with display themes that you can call into action depending on what you're planning on getting up to. I like the performance display because it's red and it puts the tachometer right in the middle where it belongs. Of course, performance is just one aspect of this machine. Safety is another big one. You get a full array of radar and laser and camera-based hazard detection systems that can warn you if you're about to run someone over, leave your lane unintentionally, rear-end another car, whack something while parking, or even if you're too sleepy to drive. It can even auto-brake to avoid certain types of collisions. This radar-guided cruise control, which auto-regulates the S60's speed based on traffic, is among the smartest and smoothest I've ever used too. Rearward visibility is enhanced with a backup camera and a handy button that folds down the rear seat headrests if the passengers have left them up. Speaking of rear seats, 2 adults of average height or a bit more should find enough room in here, maybe 3 in a pinch, and the trunk behind them should fit a 4-person's road trip worth of gear with ease. So good traction, heaps of power, and among the best mileage I've ever seen in a 300 horsepower car, which means you'll spend less time in the lineup at the gas station behind elderly lottery ladies. Sounds pretty win-win. So let's sum up this generously boosted Swedish sled, shall we? You'll like the blend of power and mileage, the comfortable seats, the slew of safety gear, the unique cabin, the understated and discreet looks, and the all-around comfortable and relaxing and confident winter driving experience. You might wish for a heavier feel to the steering if you're going with the softer suspension calibration like the Tester. This light and quick steering is a bit too frisky for the soft chassis, and sometimes when you steer, it feels like you're startling the car a little. The navigation system is getting a bit old, and the S60 is adequately sized, not huge, so bigger drivers may feel a little bit crampy. Also, you might expect a bit less wind noise from your new luxury sedan. End of the day, if your priorities in a laid-back luxury cruiser include top-notch safety, winter driving confidence, and a hefty performance punch with a not-so-hefty fuel bill, be sure to check this one out.
Buckle up and hold on tight. There's more Autopilot coming up after the break.